Microsoft Excel and attendance combination graphs. Over the COVID lockdown, we were doing distance education, and I actually kept track of my students' attendance online with MS Teams by checking who was logged in to my call. So each time I would make a call. Now, when I logged in, I would check how many students were in the class and did a calculation basically, like 15 out of 20 students are in the class, and then converted that to a percentage. What I did is I also conditional formatted them so I could see which classes were not attending as much. So green is obviously good attendance and red is bad attendance. So some classes, if they got 56, it was bad. If they got 100%, obviously it's good. So that's a really easy and clear way to see your attendance with a color. I'll show you how to do that. So very simply, I'm going to do it at a table here. So let's just say our attendance is 15 students, and then we've got 18 students, and then we've got like 20 students, and then we've got 30 students, and only 5 students this next round. Okay, so I'm going to go click here, and I'll click at conditional formatting. Then I can go color scales, and I can just go like this, and voila. 30, the highest number, is automatically going to be the green, and 5, you can obviously change it if you like. Conditional formatting, color scale, and do it the opposite. Is green at the top, red at the top, etc. There are different colors you can use. This is the one I use the most, orange being in the middle. So that was quick, and then I thought, you know what, I reckon I can go further than this, and I can add a graph. So I added this graph here. Well, actually, I started with this horrible looking graph. Now, this horrible looking graph had all my classes and all their attendance. And actually that wasn't so useful because it was all of my S1 classes, so that's years 7, 8 in most other countries, secondary first year, secondary second year, secondary third year, secondary fourth year. So it's all the different classes. Now this is useful because it's got a lot of information, but it's too much information. So what it is, I condensed it into each year level, S1, so grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4, which is for secondary. And then I did an average attendance. Now what I'll explain is how I did this. So we can just do an average function. So you can see average of B6. If I double click on this one, it's done an average of those two periods, first period and second period, across these S1 classes. Similarly here, I've done an average of the attendance for the S2 classes across period 1 and 2. Voila. So the average for that week, so that what is it, week 1, and I've put the dates of the week. So then I've just put all the data, I've selected all the data and gone table, whatever, and also put an average attendance across all of them. So for example, I can see here now that my S2 classes had better than average attendance here. In fact, it looks like they almost always had better than average attendance, which is good to know. S1 had a little bit less. And in my first week, my S4 had the worst attendance, okay? Here, my S3 had the worst attendance. So what was also really useful is being able to go average attendance. Now, average attendance, I also need to change to be a different type of line because I wanted that to sit on top of the data. So what I did was click here and then right-click and change chart type. And then you can change it to a line. That's what it was. Previously, it was a bar. So for example, I'll do it on S2. So because S2 looks like it has the best attendance, let's say this is the high bar. And I'll go S2, change chart type to line. I'm going to go boom. And there's my S2 line. Now I don't want that because then it skews my data a bit weird. So yeah. I'm going to press Command Z to go back. So that's how I did my average attendance line. So you've got to set up a line of data that is separate, and then you've got it. The other thing that might be of interest is this average class attendance hierarchy. So I made my students compete to see who got the best attendance of each of the online classes, and I gave them little like stamps on MS Teams for getting the best attendance, etc. So for example, up the top here is the best attendance, down the bottom here is the worst attendance. Now what I had to do was get the average attendance and then I ordered it. So how did I do it? Order it. I think I just I grabbed the average attendance from the classes and I copied the class name and the average attendance here, and then I copied it over here. And then what I did, here we go, here's our column. Now what I can do here is I can go sort and filter. from largest to smallest, and then we've got it there. Okay, so you can sort them, but you need to sort both the class names and the data. Okay, so once I've sorted the data, then I could go and make a graph of it. So that says S2W at the start, S1W next, etc. And also that's my beautiful color conditional formatting. So then you can change the colors here. It doesn't automatically change the colors, but that's also quite useful.